The quantum mechanical model provides a much more accurate picture by treating electrons as both particle and wave. Bohr model में electron को only it was considered as a particle, right? The last video में मैंने आपको बताया था कि he told that it is his theory was based on that electron is acts as a particle, but quantum mechanical model says that no, electron has a wave-like behavior also. So quantum mechanical model is based on dual nature of electron, wave particle duality, and this model was developed by Erwin Schrödinger and Werner Heisenberg. Heisenberg uncertainty principle last हमने वीडियो में किया है, right? And this mechanical model we will explain here. Erwin Schrödinger and Bohr's model में difference के साथ साथ. Now further, what was the difference between two theories? It was certainty to probability. Bohr's says that electron moves in a fixed orbit. Bohr's theory, imagine the atoms like a tiny solar system. Electrons travel in clearly defined circular paths called orbits and at fixed distances from the nucleus, and they were named as KLM. So Bohr ने बताया कि electron moves in the fixed orbits around the nucleus, and but quantum mechanical model says no, electrons do not move in path. Instead, they exist in orbitals, 3D orbitals, where there is high probability of finding an electron. इसका क्या मतलब है कि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो हैं वो ऑर्बिट्स में मूव नहीं करते. क्वांटम मैकेनिकल मॉडल ने ऑर्बिटल्स 3D ऑर्बिटल्स एक्सप्लेन किए कि अराउंड द न्यूक्लियस देयर आर 3D ऑर्बिटल्स. तो हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में उसको एक्सप्लेन करूंगी मैं. 3D orbitals हैं which he named as S, P, D and F, and their electron is found in the form of wave cloud, not as a form of in the form of particle. And there is a wave cloud of electron, and its probability of finding an electron is high in these orbitals, right? So आप imagine कर सकते हो बेटा, if it is a particle it will move like this, right? And if it is a wave, its probability in the complete orbital is maximum. It can be found anywhere at any time. Now next is particle versus wave particle duality. This we have discussed. Bohr theory treated the electron purely as particle, right? And Schrödinger treated it as wave. Now quantum mechanical model based on de Broglie hypothesis. क्वांटम मैकेनिकल मॉडल में कौन कौन से हाइपोथेसिस हैं? वन इज de Broglie and one is the uncertainty principle, right? De Broglie says that matter has wave-like properties. The position of an electron, and he described by a wave function, this is psi. That electron को डी ब्रॉगली ने क्या कहा कि इट बिहेव्स लाइक अ वेव, एंड उसकी जो प्रॉपर्टीज हैं वो एक्सप्लेन की जा सकती हैं बाय दिस फंक्शन, वेव फंक्शन विच ही डिनोटेड एज psi. इलेक्ट्रॉन की प्रॉपर्टीज को अगर हमने एक्सप्लेन करना है देन वी कैन कंसिडर दिस वेव फंक्शन psi. Now the uncertainty principle. What was uncertainty principle? Bohr's theory assumed we could know exactly where the electron is, how fast it is moving at any given moment. Means Bohr's ने क्या कहा कि position of electron we can know, and the velocity of electron we can also find out simultaneously. ये हमें पता चल सकता है कि इन ऑर्बिट में where the electron is and what is its velocity. And he uh, found also the particle radius of the orbit and velocity of the electron. He gave formulae all for the for this to find out the position and velocity of electron. Now the quantum mechanical model what says it follows Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which states that it is impossible to know both the exact position and the exact momentum of an electron simultaneously. Heisenberg uncertainty principle क्या कहता है कि no, because electron behaves as a wave, so its position and its momentum, which is m delta v, cannot be found out simultaneously. Cannot be found out simultaneously, and he gave this expression delta x into m delta v should be greater or equal to h by 4 pi. So Bohr's model works only for hydrogen, whereas quantum model works for all elements in the periodic table. So beta recent जो model है which explains structure of atom completely, that is quantum mechanical model, right? Though Bohr's model has given very important points regarding atom, but not complete. Complete description was not given by Bohr. Now the question may come in the exam. Give the essential postulates of Bohr's model and how did it explain the stability of the atom and origin of the spectral lines of in hydrogen atom. तो ये क्वेश्चन बेटा आ जाता है, इस पे थोड़ा सा डिटेल है. इन अगेन आप इसमें पॉइंट्स लिखेंगे कि वन इज बोर्स मॉडल में फिक्स ऑर्बिट्स के बारे में एक्सप्लेन किया, जो मैंने अभी आपको एक्सप्लेन किया है सारा वही KLMN. And then another point he told that these orbits have fixed energy, discrete energy. इनका discrete energy जो है हर एक ऑर्बिट की फिक्स है, and as long as electron remains in this orbit it does not lose energy. ये मेन पॉइंट उसने बताया था बोर ने, which Rutherford didn't tell. Rutherford के मॉडल में this point was not explained. इसी वजह से रदरफोर्ड का मॉडल फेल हो गया था, because he said that electron is continuously moving and radiating, and if it is continuously moving it means it is losing energy, and orbit concept of discrete orbits का जो concept था वो रदरफोर्ड ने नहीं दिया था. So his जो मॉडल था वो that was failed. Now comes what is angular momentum. Angular momentum क्या बताया था? Again Bohr told that an electron can only revolve in these orbits where its angular momentum is an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So this was the formula given by Bohr, where m is mass, v is velocity, r is radius of the orbit, and h is Planck's constant. And another thing he told that energy transition, this was very important thing which was told by Bohr, that energy is released when an electron moves from higher orbit to lower orbit, and energy is absorbed when it goes from lower orbit to higher orbit. Whenever electron transition would take place from one orbit to another orbit, energy either will be absorbed or released, right? Now, how he gave the explanation of atomic stability? He resolved this by postulating that energy levels are quantized, that means fixed. He stated that an electron in an orbit does not radiate or absorb energy unless it moves from higher to lower or lower to higher orbit, and electron cannot exist between these fixed energy levels, cannot drop below the lowest energy level, and the atom remains stable indefinitely. मीन्स अगर बेटा एक इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो अपने ऑर्बिट में मूव कर रहा है, and when till it is in its orbit it is not radiating energy, and when it moves from one orbit to another orbit or in between the orbit it cannot be found or from first orbit to nucleus speed it cannot go down. So this was explained by Bohr. So he explained that the atom is stable, right? Now comes origin of spectral lines in hydrogen. How he explained spectral lines in hydrogen. Bohr model explains the hydrogen emission spectrum on the result of electron transition between different energy levels. So when hydrogen atom absorb energy, the electron jumps from the ground state n is equal to 1 to higher energy level, and it will be greater than 1, either 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. And the excited state is unstable, and when the electron falls back to lower energy level, it emits the excess energy as a single photon of light. राइट, जो एनर्जी रिलीज होती है वो फोटोन की फॉर्म में रिलीज होती है, जो आपको पहले ही बताया था, E इज इक्वल टू एच वी, दैट वाज प्लैंक्स क्वांटम थ्योरी. Now, because the energy levels are fixed, the energy difference delta E is always a specific value. This leads to light being emitted at specific frequency, creating thus distinct lines seen in the hydrogen spectrum. बिकॉज एनर्जी बेटा ट्रांजिशन जो होगा वो फिक्स्ड एनर्जी है, तो उसका जो डेल्टा ई है वो स्पेसिफिक लाइट और स्पेसिफिक फ्रीक्वेंसी प्रोड्यूस करेगा, एंड दैट इज सीन इन हाइड्रोजन स्पेक्ट्रम. डिफरेंट फ्रीक्वेंसीज की लाइट हाइड्रोजन स्पेक्ट्रम में नजर आती है. तो व्हेन देयर इज ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम if from higher level to n is equal to 1, this comes in ultraviolet region, and it is called Lyman series. And when it falls to n is equal to 2 from higher levels, it comes in visible region, and it is Balmer series called. And when it falls to n is equal to 3 from higher levels, then it is Paschen series, and it comes in infrared region. So this was hydrogen spectrum explained by Bohr. So he did his marvelous job and told many important things about the atom, but still he could not explain atoms other than hydrogen, and further many inventions and many theories which were explained by quantum mechanical model, when it was considered that that electron behaves as a particle as well as wave like property, dual nature, right? So this all we have done now, and in the next video beta we will do questions related to this. Okay.